Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be covering 3 teams that I used to reach expert rank. The first one was recommended by Jonkus, and that's I believe one of his newest creative teams, which is Incinerate, Typhlosion, Snarl, Granbull with Crunch and Close Combat, and Togekiss. So basically the Fire Double Fairy team with a little bit of spice. I'm going to include a link to his channel somewhere, either in the pinned comments or in the description. So go ahead and check him out. And we're going to showcase 5 battles there. Then we'll move on to the next team. This was kind of a rough team, to be honest. So this one is kind of a weird matchup because I do super effective damage with these Incinerates. They do a lot of damage, but Malmetal is very tanky. So I believe I actually try to go for I not shield this because I know I can survive, and then he does a really nice job catching the move onto Cresselia. So I tried to build up to one, then I switch out to Granbull. I actually don't really have a good answer to Cresselia, so I am going to look to do quite as much damage as I can with this Granbull, but this is not looking good for me at all. I was really hoping that it was going to be a Grass Knot at first, because a Grass Knot I can definitely tank way better than the Moonblast, but now at this point in time they can just straight Grass Knot me, which is really not a pleasant situation for me. And I'm thinking about farming down, but I'm probably going to have to double shield, and it's just not looking really hot for me right now. I really need them to have something weak to charm in the back. I think I decided double shield. It's too bad they survived 1 HP, because it would have been really nice there to be able to have a little bit more energy. So I go for the Close Combat, which obviously would KO. And luckily they didn't throw right away, so I'm able to get the second one off, which should be able to draw the final shield. And then I make a dump light. I basically try to throw right away, and then end up like not putting me in a good spot. So I do go for the Blast Burn here, and then I'm hoping that Togekiss can close out. And I go into Togekiss versus Swampert, and I really need these charms to go through. Unfortunately, they were able to deny my charm, which is actually really bad for me. And I make a critical mistake here. I really should have just thrown Ancient Power, but I thought it was going to get to the Flamethrower. But logically, there wasn't really a way for me to get to the Flamethrower because they were going to beat me by 1 turn. So I really should have thrown the Ancient Power. It would not have KO'd, but this one Incinerate afterwards probably would have been able to KO. It would have been super close. Jonkus actually runs Aerial Ace on this team to be able to hit Swampert for neutral damage. If I had Aerial Ace there, I definitely would have won. So a bad lead, but whenever you go bad lead, you go Granbull, safe switch. I don't know why I threw a move there. And they actually go into Registeel, which is not the worst for me. They actually let me build up quite a bit of energy. The thing is that Granbull really can't take the Flash Gain anyways, so there's no point in allowing this debuff to go through. And I'm going to be able to throw this Close Combat, and the second one would KO. It doesn't really matter that if I debuff for myself or not, so I'm able to take a shield, which is fantastic for me. And at this point in time, Granbull did its job, and I know I have that Solar Beam nuke for Swampert. So I am going to look to farm down. I'm not going to shield. I'm just going to put everything on 2 shield Togekiss at the end. And Focus Blast obviously not going to KO. It does a lot of damage. And I'm at 100 energy right now. And I'm going to throw the Solar Beam. Hail Mary. If they shield, that's whatever. If they don't shield, then and they actually end up not shielding. And then they have Obstagoon in the back. And that is Obstagon, right? Obsta1. Okay. All right. Then we're going up against Fishy Plays. So this is a fantastic lead for me. Typhlosion does resist Ice Shards, and they go into Giratina. This is great for me. I go straight into Togekiss. Togekiss is a really strong counter to Giratina. I'm not sure what they're doing here. They're saving up quite a bit of energy. They're probably looking to throw back-to-back Shadow Sneaks, but they actually throw the Dragon Claw, and I actually kind of understood what they were trying to do here. They were trying to farm down Togekiss for Articuno and look to throw the Hurricane onto Typhlosion. But the thing is I'm just not going to shield Typhlosion, right? That's it. And because they didn't farm me down low enough, I was actually able to get the second Ancient Power, which only does 40% or something. It does a chunk to Articuno, but not a crazy amount. I'm hoping to get this Incinerate through. So that'll be on my second Incinerate. Am I able to get Incinerate through on the charge move? I'm not going to shield. This is going to probably be a Hurricane. Totally fine. And then I'm just going to throw this Blast Burn. I know it's not a Solar Beam. And I'm not even looking to necessarily take the shield because I'm already up a shield. I'm just basically looking to do as much damage as possible. And I'm just going to look to build to 2 close combats. And should be good. Going to throw the first close combat here. The second one is definitely going to KO. The good thing about close combat is it only debuffs your defense and not your attack. And they decide to let it go. And that makes total sense because if I bait it, that's basically their only chance to win. So they actually just concede and let me win the match. And that's going to be a good game. All right. The queue times were getting pretty long in Open Ultra. So I tried to cut the videos as much as I could. All right, we're going to go into Typhlosion, into Giratina. This is really bad, but this is a Dragon Breath Giratina, which is going to be way better for me later on against my Togekiss. Because Dragon Breath obviously is resisted. Can't really do that much. And then here comes Cresselia. Cresselia against Snarl Granbull. Cresselia still wins for some strange reason. All right. And they throw the Grass Knot. Oh, man, the Grass Knot bait. This time when I shield, I had to let this go. And they're going to clearly throw the Moonblast here, which really sucks because it does get me pretty low. And I'm going to look to build up quite a bit of energy. And at this point in time, I'm committed to the farm down. That's all I want. I don't care I'm down 2 shields to 0. I'm just going to farm down. This is my only chance to win. Actually, I don't end up farming down. End up throwing the Crunch here. But I'm like at 100 energy. I was hoping to grab a shield, but this is totally fine. They're probably not necessarily worried about a second Charmer. And then here they make a pretty critical mistake on their side, which is end up costing them the match, which was end up double shielding Giratina. And then you definitely don't want to double shield when someone has an Incinerate user with nukes, like Typhlosion. And then they switch out to Lapras, and I'm like, this is 100% game over. I resist Ice Shard. I take super effective damage from Surf, but Typhlosion can easily take a Surf. I'm only 1 away from this Solar Beam, so I'm going to look to light them up with Solar Beam. 80 energy, just take them right down, and this is basically game over. It'd be nice to get off this Blast Burn. There's no way I'm going to get to it. And we go into Togekiss versus Giratina, and this is a wrap. There's not really much to it. They actually get pretty close, but they don't have that much energy because my Granbull didn't actually have that much health to farm down. And plus they have Dragon Breath. If this was Shadow Claw, this would be much scarier. And it would have been a lot closer. So we end up taking the game there. So very nice. This was a really good game against one of my very good friends, ShinyHunterBen, a very strong battler. He goes Giratina, so that's not good for me. I go straight into Granbull. And he actually stays for a little bit. And he actually throws the Dragon Claw here. Not 100% sure why he threw the Dragon Claw. Because I'm going to look to farm up a bunch. And he goes into Shadow Lax. So this is looking pretty good for me. I have so much energy. And that close combat did so much damage. And at this point in time, I just need to throw Crunch. I don't need to debuff my defense anymore. Let's see if he's going to shield. Does shield. So again, I'm looking to get to the move as soon as possible. He does get to a Body Slam, so I'm going to have to shield this. And I'm going to look to build up a little bit of extra energy just so I can able to throw a Crunch into the Giratina. Because just to put myself in a little bit better position. And I'm able to get the Crunch off, which is going to be able to chip this Giratina a pretty nice amount. But not necessarily worth the last shield. And he actually goes into Obstagoon, into Togekiss. And this back line, the lead in the back is pretty weak to Charmers. So, and then I just look to catch what I presume is going to be the Hybrid Beam. And it is. And I'm going to look to Incinerate down. Doesn't really matter at this point in time. He's going to give you a little bit of a farm, but I'm not really too worried, to be honest. I'm going to shield the first one. Most likely to be a Shadow Snake. He could also bait me, but it doesn't really matter. And we're going to look to charm down, and able to charm down, and able to pick up the big win. So I go 4-1 with that team. I believe that is... And then I go into the next team, which is Shadow Dragonite, Machamp, and Alolan Muck. And we go Dragonite into Ampharos. We actually should CMP on the first one if they do throw right away. But they actually end up doing throwing right away. So I know it's 2 more Volt Switches until the next Thunder Punch. I'd rather not take this Thunder Punch onto Dragonite because it's very squishy. So I'd rather take it onto Alolan Muck, which has a little bit more bulk, actually quite a bit more bulk. And they go into Obstagoon. That's not really ideal. It's not a great situation, but it's and they have Cross Chop too. But this Sludge Wave does hurt quite a bit, so if they had Night Slash, maybe this would be a little bit better for me, because I could probably get to another move. I'm so close here. If I'm able to survive this Cross Chop, I should have the Dark Pulse. And I faint with it. Oh my, I probably didn't realize I would survive. So let's see what I do here. I actually go into Machamp, hoping that they throw the Night Slash, but... they also weren't out of moves, so maybe it didn't really matter too much. So I'm going to look to counter down, mostly to get a little bit of energy. Typhlosion versus Machamp is not that bad. No, not Typhlosion. Ampharos versus Machamp. Not that bad of a matchup for Machamp, especially with energy. They actually end up sacking it, and I'm able, because I did 1 extra counter, I'm able to somehow win the CMP here and get to the Rock Slide. No, they actually don't throw, which makes sense. And they're very close to 2 Dragon Claws, so I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here. Hope to chip this Charizard pretty significantly. And I make a mistake here. So I could have won this game. Because I let a Fire Spin through, they had the Dragon Claw right away. I could have threw 2 Fire Spins, 2 Dragon Breaths, then the Dragon Claw, so that way I guarantee to get some damage off before they get their Fire Spin registered. And then I probably would have won, but it was a really good game. Well played by my opponent. All right, going against my friend Feng Shui. All right, we're going Dragonite into Skarmory. So Skarmory's absolutely terrible for my team. So I go into Machamp. And they throw the Sky Attack here. And I'm going to look to bait. And it's a good thing I did bait because they actually go into a Swampert. If I were through Rock Slide there, that would have been absolutely devastating for me. No shield. And I didn't see the Mud Shot coming in because I tried to CMP tie there. That's totally fine. And now my objective is not to CMP tie, but to throw 1 before the CMP tie because I'd rather them not shield and let me take out the Swampert because it's really dangerous for my team. And I would rather win the Switchback. And they go into Kingdra. I really should have threw the Rock Slide there because there's no way I'm going to get to another move. If they don't shield this, that's really bad for me. So I end up going into Dragonite right away, hoping to Dragon Breath down or throw the Dragon Claw. So I can't get off a move. I probably could have Dragon Breath down, but it would have been really close. I was taking a lot of damage. And then here comes Skarmory. The Skarmory is quite low, and I'm really hoping they let this Dragon Claw come through. It is resisted. But it would put them really low, but so they end up shielding it. So it's not good for me. And I think they make a mistake. He makes a mistake here. And basically what I'm looking to is sneak some fast moves in. And they throw the Sky Attack. And I'll be able to live another Sky Attack. So, and I just need 1 more Snarl. So if they throw the Sky Attack here, I win. If they throw the Brave Bird, then I can counter down. They actually go for the Brave Bird. They have no chance to debuff, and 1 counter is more than enough to take out the Skarmory. So that's going to be a good game. Hopefully I cut up the queue time here. I might have forgot to do on this one. So let me just slightly speed ahead. There you go. The Q times were getting pretty bad, and I expect them to be pretty bad when I battle later today. So Dragonite into Machamp, not that bad of a matchup for me. Obviously, if they sneak a counter through, that's pretty bad. They sneak a counter through, that's really bad. So now they're at 7. They have the Rock Slide right now. They go 1, 2, 3. So they have like basically 2 cross chops here. So they let the first cross chop go through. And I think they're just short of the Rock Slide. I'm not sure why they... In this case, they baited here. I'm not really sure why they did. And I switch out to Machamp just to get a little bit of energy lead. I don't really know there's too much I can do. And as well eliminate some of that energy from them. And I go straight for the Rock Slide, because it does take them a while to get to the Blast Burn. With Dragon Breath, they end up shielding. And somehow I won CMP. I'm not really sure how that worked out. Charizard generally has slightly higher attack. But because I'm not sure why. Anyways, they go into Escavalier, which is really good for me at this point in time. I really want to see the Escavalier here right now. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm looking to chip this, forcing the Escavalier to dump its energy, and as well chip it as low as possible so that I can farm down with a Alolan Muck. So I end up going into Alolan Muck directly. I'm like, I'll just take the drill run. I'll live it. I'm pretty sure they are short on energy. And I can just look to throw the move. And I'm throwing the Sludge Wave. This Charizard has a lot of health left, but not quite the Blast Burn yet. And that's going to be more than enough to KO. So I pick up a really nice win there. Skarmory, no, not Skarmory. That was a pretty interesting lead play there by baiting again. I'm not really sure what they were hoping to accomplish, but it worked out for me. Okay, we're going to go Dragonite into Umbreon. And basically what I want to do here is I want to evaluate how they throw. So it looks like they throw right away, which is good information for me. And I'm going to look to build up. And then I know they throw right away, so they're going to throw at 3 Snarls in order to get to the second foul play. And I catch the foul play on Alolan Muck. And then they go into Toxtrot, which is absolutely worst nightmare for me. But the Sludge Wave still does like half damage to Toxtrot, so it's not like they can like... Well, they're definitely gonna farm me down. There's really no choice here. And I have to be careful of the Sludge Wave. My Dragonite is pretty low, but I do have 2 shields. They have 2 shields as well. I actually throw the Dragon Claw right away, hoping to induce the shield because they have a lot of energy, and they do. And they make a very weird play here by coming into Umbreon, and I'm not looking to take a Last Resort because it does quite a bit of damage, so I just look to get rid of the Umbreon. I think they're probably pretty happy to get rid of it as well. I know I'm going to be able to beat the Toxicroak to a move. Yeah, because I do outpace it. They end up not shielding, and then they go into Drifblim here. And so I have an idea. I'm going to live this Icy Wind. I know for sure it's an Icy Wind. Icy Wind's a pretty low damage move, no stab there. Am I going to throw the Rock Slide? And I'm like, if they throw the Rock Slide, I can just straight Dragon Claw or even Dragon Breath down. And they don't shield, so I'm looking to throw 2 Dragon Claws here. If they did shield the Rock Slide, then I would switch and try to Hurricane and see if the Dragon Breath plus Hurricane is enough to make up for the shielded Rock Slide. But ended up being pretty favorable for me, so I'm able to land another Dragon Claw and take out this Drifblim. I know people don't like me drinking stuff while I do my voiceovers, but it's been a very long day and I have a very small window to record. So looks like I forgot to jump ahead. Okay, there you go. So this next one was honestly the worst lead you could possibly encounter. Actually, did it? Yeah, did I actually skip one? No. Actually, I think I did actually. Okay, all right. So go here. Pretty sure I had one more battle before that one, but maybe I cut it out. Okay, whatever. That's fine. I think I had a Lapras lead that I was able to win as well. All right, Togekiss lead is really bad for me. And I go straight into Machamp, and they make the switch. Be aggressive, guys. Be aggressive. And they go into Alolan Muck. I was like, oh my gosh, can I actually win this game? But the thing is, I need energy coming out of this matchup. And I was so nervous there. I was like, please, please Sludge Wave here. Please Sludge Wave. They end up Sludge Waving. And I'm going to look to counter down, be as aggressive as possible. And I'm just going to take this. I know this is a Dark Pulse because it's too early for the second Sludge Wave. And I'm going to look to counter down. And then I'm almost at the double. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take this full charm. This is very risky of me. I'm going to take the full charm so I can get the extra counter in. And then throw the Rock Slide here. And they make a really nice play here. They actually switch out to their own Machamp. And that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. And I'm going to switch into Dragonite and look to farm down. And I believe I let this go. The reason why I let this go is that I'm going to look to Snarl down with Muck and then basically double Dark Pulse, double Sludge Wave the Togekiss. So, and that's going to be absolutely game. I can't believe I won a Togekiss lead while leading Dragonite and then safe switching into Machamp. What an absolute ridiculous game here. And I'm able to actually land the Sludge Wave and take it home. This next team, also recommended by chat, is Swampert, Gallade, and Alolan Muck. And this is what ultimately got me to the expert rank. These were like really textbook matches. So, well, actually, no, this one's a little bit confusing with the Gyarados, so I wasn't actually sure how to play it. I'll try to get the extra confusion, which I thought would have been helpful, considering how slow I switch. And I'm going to look to throw the Leaf Blade here. And at this point in time, I'm just going to confusion down. That's like basically my play. And I'm just able to confusion down with the Gallade. I am down. I do end up throwing the confusion and the Leaf Blade to prevent them from just getting a free Volt Switch. So like right there, I just threw the move and I didn't throw my own move, which allowed them to get a free Volt Switch. But it doesn't really matter. I really need to connect with that Leaf Blade in order to have a chance. And I throw the Hydro Cannon here just to pressure a potential shield. They end up letting go, and they go into Tangrowth, and this is absolutely over. Yeah, this was a pretty bad matchup for them. I'm able to snarl down. I have a pretty long stream right after this, so I need to consume some coffee before I go live. And we go into this next matchup, and I'm actually going against my good friend as well, Speediest Chief. It's always a lot of fun battling some really tough battlers, and he plays this game super well despite getting like completely hard countered. So yeah, this is like hard counter city right now. This is so bad. Swampert into, in this case, Dragon Breath. Charizard's not as bad. And then look, he's looking to go double cross shot, which I think makes sense. Does more damage than a one Rock Slide. Puts me pretty low, which I actually prefer. And I'm going to look to just throw the trade close combat. I'm able to land the close combat here, which will do quite a bit of damage. I don't expect them to shield, which makes sense because they're not going to get much shot down, and the Hydro Cannon would KO anyways. And I look to throw the Hydro Cannon into Charizard just to grab the shield. I know they're going to shield because they're loaded on energy. I can't remember if I let this go. I ended up shielding us. I don't know if this is the right call. Definitely not the right call in hindsight. And I'm going to go into a Alolan Muck. And Venusaur, Alolan Muck Venusaur matchup, definitely favorable as the Alolan Muck. You prefer it to be the Alolan Muck. But when they have a little bit of energy advantage, it can be like so scary. because these Frenzy Plant, even though they're resisted and Muck has decent stats, they certainly add up and do a lot of damage. I was trying to sneak a Snarl through, but Speedius is just too good, too strong. And he makes a really nice play here. So I go for the Sludge Wave, mostly because it's going to do more damage, and as well put them way lower in case I need to Hydro Cannon them later. So it makes a really nice play here to catch on Charizard, but this is actually really okay for me because the Charizard had like almost another Dragon Claw, and I'm going to switch out and I'm going to just land this Hydro Cannon to take out the Venusaur, and that's going to be a GG. So really, really nice game there. Got a completely hard counter, and it came down to me Hydro Cannoning the Venusaur. That just shows you how crazy Speediest Chief is. Okay, so I pick up another really good lead here. And they go into Lapras here, and Lapras is so uncomfortable here. It's a very uncomfortable matchup as the Gallade switch in, because then you get slightly outpaced to the Surfs, and as well, like, the Confusions do a lot of damage, but so do the Ice Shards. And we throw the Leaf Blade here. Suddenly feel this jolt of energy probably because of the caffeine I just consumed. Anyways, they actually end up letting me. They actually don't Ice Shard me down, which is pretty favorable for me. And I'm actually not going to shield even if it's a Focus Blast, because I really can't afford this last shield. The Focus Blast would put me super, super low. They actually ended up Dragon Pulsing me. Yeah, the Focus Blast is pretty much what KO'd me here. But I really couldn't burn my last shield. There's just no way I could, because I know they're likely going to have something that will counter my Swampert in the back. So they end up letting go, and it ends up being Escavalier, and I make, oh man, these plays are absolutely insane right now. I was really proud of this game, so I went to Muck right away. I didn't want them to farm down anymore, and I really need to get that Snarl through. And here I chose not to shield, mostly because if they had an Acid Spray, I would guarantee lose. So I ended up letting it go, and I know I need to get to the move. They ended up throwing the Drill Run here, which I actually think ends up being a mistake, because it's not like they get to another Drill Run, and I'm just barely able to survive, and no counter through, able to sync up the fast moves. 2 3-turn fast moves for 3. 2-turn fast moves does mean that another one slips through. I get maximum energy output. I'm able to survive with 1 HP. And those IVs came in super clutch. The not shielding almost cost me the game, but really, if they had Acid Spray, then I would be really bad for here. So this is a really bad. Oh man, I kind of screw up this game here. And they go into Alakazam, and I'm like, oh man, this Alakazam could have like Dazzling Gleam, could have Focus Blast, and I really didn't know what it was going to throw at me. And these counters are really adding up. I end up shielding this. I believe they actually have 2 Fire Punches, but I'm able to undertap them and able to prevent the second Fire Punch from coming through. And that's obviously a mistake switching on their side, because they actually come into Swampert right afterwards. And I'm like kind of in trouble at this point in time. I make a huge mistake here. Oh man, this game was like annoying me right afterwards. I'm sure people have these games where like you lose the lead, you find some like weird way to win, and they throw the Hydro Cannon at me. I'm definitely not going to shield. I'm just going to save the shields for and then here I just make the stupidest play here. I just threw 2 extra. I should have just thrown the Hydro Cannon at the Venusaur to help with this confusion down. They actually ended up throwing the Sludge Bomb at me instead of the Frenzy. And oh man, this game was so close, because I know I lose CMP because I have a rank 1 Swampert. So I know I lose CMP. So I throw the Leaf Blade right last second here. And I'm going to throw this last Leaf Blade here, but I'm like, oh, if they have any energy. If I would have thrown right away at that Swampert, I would have been in a really good spot. But because they have the Hydro Cannon, I have so much energy here. I really could have thrown way before. Thrown the Venusaur to help with the farm down. Anything to help me try to win the game. but I ended up losing that game, and it was like, oh man. And I actually didn't mean to cut out the person's name when I was like cutting out the wait time. And this game is a must-win game for me in order to get to hit expert. And I run into another Ampharos, so but it's all good. And they go into Machamp, and this game's like basically over right here. Like this is, I thought they actually gave up there. Would have saved me a lot of time. And they actually go for the Rock Slide here. I think it depends on the IVs. It definitely looks like 2 Cross Chops do quite a bit more damage. And they go in. I throw the Leaf Blade here. I could have thrown one more Confusion and got to the close combat. And that probably... Oh, actually, I didn't think they ended up shielding this anyways. No, they ended up not shielding. So I think we end up... Oh, okay. They end up throwing here, which actually very favorable for me. Because now I can Mud Shot down. And yeah, this game is definitely over. Farm down. And they actually come into Abomasnow. And Abomasnow versus Amok is a really iffy matchup. You think it'd be pretty straightforward because you're the poison type. But they end up no shielding. I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually amazing for me. I end up letting go. I thought about Mud Shine down, but this game's actually over. They actually end up weatherballing me for some reason. I'm not really sure. Maybe they're afraid that I had like a Dragonite or something in the back, which is why I wasn't switching out right away. But I ended up having a Alolan Muck, and that's going to be a good game. And I'm able to, you're going to see that I hit Expert at 2770. I think I ended up finishing the stream at 2751. I'm like 268 on the leaderboard. But those were my battles. Those were my 3 teams. Lots of fun to use. Hopefully these were useful and educational. And I was going to leave it there. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.